Because there is no really right or wrong. There is no really good or bad. But there's hurting people and there's uplifting people. And that has to stay on your consciousness forever. Hey my friends, welcome aboard the JUST TAi NOW ship with your Captin Naga. Today's episode, I want to go over the forces of good and evil, right and wrong, bad and good. What does this all mean? How are we supposed to approach these terms in today's world? Because we see a lot of good and we see a lot of bad. But when you talk to the good or bad people, supposedly they'll both say that they're doing good. So, is there really bad in the world? Where does intentions play? How much should we pay attention to people's intentions more than what we see on the outer surface? What do excuses mean? This is a lot to tie about, my friends. Because we do a lot of things personally, and we make a lot of excuses for why we do it. Even if it's like what we call little white lies. Like, oh, I just had to say that because I know how they usually feel, or I know how they usually react to certain situations. Where does that put you as? The bad guy acting good, or the good guy that's doing a little bad? There's so many shades of gray that they made a book about it. Like, what personally do we have to measure everybody by our own personal standards, or should there actually exist a collective guide that we all need to like check ourselves against every once in a while? Just Thai. Like, we all need to come together and be like, all right, you're doing this and that. But I believe, though, as I think about that we have tried that. Us humans have tried that. We had the 10 Commandments, Bill of Rights, and each and every country has their own governing laws put together by queens and kings, or by parliament, or if they have democratic society, yada yada. Just Thai. And there's always groups of people rising up. Rebellious groups, anarchies, that will say, hey, maybe that's not good. Maybe this is right. Maybe this is the direction and the set of rules that we should be going to. But then in those groups of people, as they mature, I was listening to a band named Him. They recently broke up after like 15 years or so. That's a long time. As people and groups mature, individuals start popping up in there that say, hey, I know we broke apart from this society, but now this internal group, it seems like I gotta break apart from this and start my own thing. And us as humans on many levels, this is what we have been doing. I was thinking just now about Britain, and then we went to America, and then it was the Civil War, and then it was back together, supposedly. And then now we have more groups coming out, like the ISIS groups. We have the LGBTQ community. We have the people, the NRA, the Republicans, the Democrats. And then even within the Republicans and Democrats, you got the liberals that like break apart from even those two groups, or within the Democrats. I don't know, I'm just tying just now. Just tying. What is this right or wrong? And who are we? Who am I to point a finger at who's doing wrong? For real. People, for me, always going to do what they do. It's written in history. It's in our DNA. But for me, personally, where I have to play is am I hurting somebody else? Is what I'm doing going to uplift somebody, or is it going to tear them down? And for me, because sometimes you can't stop yourself, or you can stop yourself, but sometimes you put in situations where you might feel as though you're putting somebody down. But for me, I try to wrap it up and say, it may seem as though I'm putting you down, but I have something that I'm really trying to say. I just had to break down that wall. I had to break down that barrier real fast. But I'm here to guide you. To hold you when that branch breaks and you feel as though you're falling. Because really, I'm just still helping you go up the tree. I try not to go real deep with that, but like leaving scars on people. You don't want to leave scars on people. But the sensei, I've paid a lot of attention to senseis in Japanese culture and how sometimes discipline is needed, but not discipline as the way that we've been taught and the way that we personally been raised. That like beating with the iron rod, like, oh, mistake. Like, no, that's not it. But because encouragement needs to be over top of everything. Because the ones that are really beaten down, if we tie for a moment, or continue tying, those are the ones that usually that had all the potential, and the sensei seen that and everything. But since they was put down so much without the encouragement that they needed, they turned to like the Sith, if you want to go into the Jedi universe. Like, they're so powerful, but they're using it to bring people down now because they're hurt and traumatized. So we have to really be careful on how we are conducting ourselves, because there is no really right or wrong. There is no really good or bad, but there's hurting people and there's uplifting people, and that has to stay on your consciousness forever, in my book, or forever how long we're here. So be careful. Be careful. I'm trying to be as careful as I can, and the best way is for me to always look back. Well, not really look back on what I just said, but make sure I'm always in a good standing with myself. Make sure I'm always on top of everything that I feel as though I'm supposed to be on top of. And if I do make a mistake, I'm sorry. I'm pure sorry. And we just move on from there. If you enjoyed this, please make sure that you take this and put it to your heart. Just tie about this in your mind, because this is stuff that I believe we should really tie on, because we cannot run around being angry, pointing fingers at people, because all we're going to do is create more little demons, more little evil spirits that's going to run around and start taking control of more people, like the youth. Because this needs to be as bright a world as possible, and the power lies within us. The power lies within these hands, within your mind, within your heart, within your throat, because we have to use our voice. I'm gonna leave you with that. Remember, keep a smile. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a 2 likes or drop a 1 like. Please hit the bell notification when you subscribe, so you can be notified when I upload the next video, which most likely is going to be daily. And support us, this mission, on Patreon. I'm really asking for your help in every video, because I really need it. And that's all. And We all tie. But do we really tie? I don't know, dude. Till next time, Captin Naga by this makeshift lake. Won't be here for long. Have a nice day. Take care. Because there is no really right or wrong. There is no really good or bad. But there's hurting people and there's uplifting people. And that has to stay on your consciousness forever.